Beaded lace. My experience with beaded lace is no, it's not a good one. It's not a good one. I remember sometime I got a job to sew corsets for I think almost 15 corsets. So by the time I got the fabric to use, it was beaded lace, fully beaded, fully beaded. Okay, so then we'd already concluded on the price, and so I couldn't alter our agreement. Okay, so I thought of okay, let me manage. My dear soulmates, by the time I finished sewing those corsets, my sewing machine got damaged. It got damaged. So it was not a very pleasant experience at all. So now working with beaded lace, and I'm very sure I'm not the only one with that type of experience. Please share your experience in the comment section with beaded lace. So when we are talking of beaded lace, we also need to find out some tricks to work with sewing our beaded lace, so we won't be losing jobs. Now that I know better, I get I accept beaded lace job willingly without any fear. And this is one of them. This is one of them. You can see how fully beaded it is. And I was able to get what I want with the sewing. Now, there are some habits that are trending or the common or very common among fashion designer. The habit is for you to use an hammer to break all the beads before sewing it. Please, that trick doesn't work. It damages fabrics. It damages your client's clothes. Look at this lace, for instance. By the time I break up all the beads on my sewing part, what will be left is a plain lace like this. What will be left will be a plain lace like this. And sewing this plain net alone, it's not safe because by the time your client put on the clothes, it can tear up from there. Moreover, you're eating on it while breaking the beads has damaged the strength of the net on its own. So it is not advisable for you to be breaking beads. It damages your client's clothes. Okay. So what do we do? And also, let me let you know that when you want to accept, one thing you should know is that when you want to accept this job, please don't use an expensive sewing machine like the industrial sewing machines. Don't use it to sew this. Don't use it because you are at the risk of damaging your needle plates. Like the one I said I experienced. What if you don't know needle? This is the needle plate. By the time you keep sewing on it, and the needle continue to eat this stripe in between your needle plate, and it got damaged, for you to be able to get a new needle plate, it's difficult, especially the industrial machines. So I do recommend using blackhead because you can get the parts of blackhead machines everywhere. I recommend that. For blackhead, it's easier because on the needle plate, the hole there, the needle area is not more than just a single hole. But for industrial machines, I mean the zigzag sewing machines, these plates are very important because by the time my own got damaged, I couldn't sew. I couldn't sew. No matter how little this plate is, I couldn't sew without it. And up till now, I've not even gotten it. So which means the my sewing machine got useless. All right. So avoid making use of your industrial sewing machine to sew beaded lace. Use blackhead. And another trick is if you don't have a blackhead and you want to use your industrial sewing machine, please use this beads presser foot. It works with this plate, with your plate, with any plate. Use this beads presser foot. Because with this presser foot, it can work. You can see how narrow the tip is. It can maneuver its way in between the lines of bead. It can maneuver its ways. All right. For instance, I don't know if you see it. For instance, you can see it can maneuver its ways in between beads. No matter how close, you can see these beads, how close they are, it will find its way through without you damaging either your needle or your needle plate. So those are the tricks of working with beaded lace. These are the tricks of working with beaded lace. And also, you have to be patient when working with beaded lace. Very, very patient. Don't paddle your machine so very fast. It is just like a car or a jeep walking on a stony path. It has to drive slowly. So when you are driving your sewing machine, when you are paddling your sewing machine, when sewing beaded lace, you have to tread softly and gently so that you won't damage your sewing machine. Okay. And also, you adjust the tightness of your machine. If you are the one that use yes, also your machine can adjust that. The adjustment at can be is what I mean by adjustment is that your presser foot shouldn't be too close, too tight with your needle plate. This is the needle plate. It shouldn't be too tight. Lift it up a bit so that the sewing your beaded lace can walk through under in between it easily. Yeah, fixing our yoke right, it's easy if you can get the technicality around it. It's very easy. First and foremost, your yoke can either comes straight, oval, like a boat, and it can also be in the form of sweetheart. Now, whichever form your yoke comes with, your body, I mean what you want to attach it to, must also come in the same way. It must also be in the same shape. So the first thing we are supposed to um, get correctly is our drafting of your yoke. Okay, if you have a body that has a sweetheart shape and your yoke as is not as curvy, probably like just a V like this, and not in form of this sweetheart, it will not sit well. They will not align well. Okay, so they have to be the same. The drafting has to be the same. Now let's take for instance your sweetheart. Your sweetheart yoke should be in form of an arc. In the same way should your body too. I mean where you want to attach it to. If this is your yoke, this is your body. They must be the same. They must be the same. The measurements must be the same. The shape must be the same. Now, another thing for you to take note is that always notch the center of your yoke before you attach it. Peradventure, if you are working with a straight line yoke or a sweetheart yoke is a self-indicating, you can always know this is the center. But for a straight line or an boat shape, you should always notch the center of your yoke and of your body before you join them. Make sure your center aligns, your center are on each other. Okay, that's very important. And also always sandwich your yoke in between your body to hide the same so that it will not be rough. Okay, and it's not advisable to always place your body on top of your yoke. It doesn't look that professional. Always make sure you sandwich it, and also align all center together. Pin them together on a straight line before you stitch. Before you stitch, I've said that before. I've speak on that before extensively. Always make sure you pin down before you stitch, and this applies to yoke as well. Once you align the center to center, pin down before you stitch. It is very, very important. So all what I've said, let's practicalize it.
So um this is the yolk, all right. So I'll first of all try to get the center because there is an opening at the center. So I have to first of all make sure I get the inches which is at the center so that I'll be able to divide it. So I have 2 inches there. So I bring out the body. Okay. So which means from the center of the body, I'll have to measure 1 inch on one side and 1 inch on the other side. So I can know where to place the center of my yoke. All right. But if yours does not have an opening or a style at the center in the yoke, you just mark not your center and you place it. All right. So for me to get my center right, that is why I'm doing this because of the style on the yoke. Okay. So firstly, I put the body on the table, put my yoke on top before putting the lining and stitch.
What type of lace do we use lace placement for? This is a type of lace. This is more like an ordinary net lace. This is like a chantilly lace, and then it's easy to sew. So I see no reason why you want to do lace placement for this type of lace. I see no reason why you want to do that, except if only you want to work with the patches. And what I mean by the patches is that you want to remove the design on it with your soldering iron. You want to remove the design, this particular flower there, and transfer to another plain material, or let's say you want to transfer it to your bust cup, to your cup, then we can call that lace placement. But if you are sewing from your shoulder to your ankle, to your feet, and then, or probably you are sewing corset, I don't see why you need to do placement for this. You can just go ahead and sew with your underlay and lining. Lace placement is for materials like this, whereby you can work with traceable designs. Where you can work with traceable design, please take note of that. And also, we use lace placements most especially for beaded lace because they are difficult to sew. So instead, we sew the base and then we place the bead on it. So it is majorly required here when working with beaded lace. You can see this lace full of stones, full of beads. Okay, so when you are working with it and when you are doing lace placements, please take note of all these things. All right, then one thing that is also essential when you are doing lace placement is mannequin. You need a mannequin. You cannot do lace placement on your table like this. You are not going to get it right. You need a mannequin. I mean, and when I mean a mannequin, a fitted mannequin, the adjustable mannequin is perfect, except if you have the plastic one that fits in to the size of the clothes you want to work on. All right. Okay. We should also note that note the technicality in working with lace placement. Some of us do lace placement without imputing our that. Impute your that because most especially on the curvy areas, there is no way you lace on it without imputing some type of that. So what do you do when you are placing doing your lace placement and you get to the curvy areas where your lace will not be balanced? Okay, so let's assume this is what we are covering. Then you place your lace on it. First and foremost, you are supposed to work with pin. When you are doing lace placements, work with enough pin. When you've placed it and you feel the place is right, pin it down. Pin it down to confirm that the place is laying properly. So you have to pin it down before you stitch. And you cannot manage pins. All right. So I've pinned it down and every other place is flat except for this place. Every other place is flat except for this place. So what do we do here? You assume this is your dart. You assume this is your dart. So we'll have to look at the pattern here and I'll cut through on the patterns. I'll look for a pattern that I can cut and which will not alter the shape of the design on it. Okay. All right. So I'll place this underneath first. You can see I've cut it through before putting this on it. But looking at it, this pattern, it's more usable than this one. So this we should go under. All right. Then here, if I put it like this, here is not still flat. So which means I'll have to cut through again. So I'll go further through a pattern. All right. You can see that. So this place is laying flat. Why this will be on it? So just look at this. So if by the time I pin this down and I stitch it, so even this area is not still relaxed. So what do I do? Before pinning it down, I'll come here and open up, following the pattern. So here we have it. I'll pin this area down. Come back to this place. It's time consuming. And I'll pin this place down. So I'll come to this place and cut through. I'll have to cut through my designs, my patterns, I mean, before stitching. Okay, so the rough pattern, I'll put it underneath while I put this on top, and I will stitch. I'll pin it down as well, then stitch. So you can see it is well placed. Everything is well placed. So you have to cut through each pattern and design before you pin down to get a balanced placement. All right. So this is one of the tricks of lace placement. And if you look properly, you won't see anywhere I pick up a dart. I did not pin up a dart anywhere, but it is spread. I spread it along. First of all, we have a dart, and later it was spread. Okay, so this is the tricks of lace placement. This is the tricks of lace placement. All right. Another thing to take note in lace placement is that you don't cut your lace before your stitch or on your stitch. You cut your lace, or you slash your lace after your stitch. You so that it will be able to cover up your stitch properly. This is what I mean. Let's assume we are working with this. Let's assume this is our waistline, right? So you want to place your lace on it like this. You can't place leave your lace placement on like this. This is around a stitch area. So what you do is you extend it and let it cover up a bit before cutting, so that your stitch will not be visible. All right, this is the trick of lace placement. You don't cut, you don't stop before your waistline. You pass through your, extend it beyond your waistline a bit, like half inch, to give you a kind of professional look. All right. So these are the tricks concerning lace placement. And most importantly, lace placement is stressful. Lace placement is not for the weak. You have to stand for hours. It's time consuming. So you have to prepare your mind. You cannot do lace placement while you are fasting or while you've not eaten. It takes energy. All right. So prepare your mind for lace placement before you go for it. Instead, stitching remains the best. Sewing your fabric remains the best than lace placing it and tacking it down. Yes, lace placement, if properly done, is beautiful, but sewing remains the best. All right. Okay, for corset, yeah, that's a trending style now. And also, let me say this for some people: if you don't know how to sew corset, please just relax yourself. That doesn't mean you are not good. And that does not mean you are not professional. Corset is not for everybody. It's not for everybody to wear. Neither is it for everybody to know. Okay? But I'll still advise, just get an idea from it. Try to get knowledge. Okay? So now to start with in corset, I think it's right we start with getting familiar with the necessary items we need for sewing corset and identifying them. All right. So for sewing corset, we need boning. Boning is what gives corset its structure. Boning is very, very important. Now, what type of boning do we use? We make use of two types of boning. The Regilene boning. This is Regilene boning. This is Regilene boning. It is very flexible and light and flat. This is Regilene boning. So we make use of Regilene boning, which comes in sizes, and we also make use of plastic boning. This is a plastic boning. Yeah, it also comes in sizes. Now, to make a very good corset, you need to work with both of them, the Regilene and the plastic boning. Don't work with only Regilene boning and say you are making corset, because it's not going to give you the effect, the real effects of corset. Don't work with only this, work with both. And I'll be explaining how we'll be working with both. For this, I call this the half-inch boning. If you place your tape rule on it, this is how to know it. You can see it's on half inch. So this is the half-inch boning. When you place your tape rule on it, you will know. And we also have the quarter-inch boning. This is the quarter-inch boning. Place it on it, and it should be on quarter, okay, more like quarter inch boning. They have sizes, but that is how I use the name I gave to them in identifying them. We have I think this is 6 mm boning, while this is 10 mm. This is 10 mm boning, but I always use my inch to identify them. Now, what do we use this quarter inch boning for? It is majorly used for caging. I use it for caging because it is smaller and it's very flexible. Because when we are talking of caging, caging has to do with curve. The way you place your boning must be curve. It must be very, very curved, not straight. If you place your boning straight when you are caging a bust, it will not give you the results you want. So when you are placing it, you make sure it is curved. Make sure it is curved. This is what I mean. Do not place your boning straight like this when you are caging. Make sure your boning is curved in a way. It should be curved like this, like this, like this. That is how it should be. If you are yet to get your caging properly, check my channel, go through my channel, and type out to how to cage, bust caging, and you will see a very detailed tutorial. That's one of my highest view videos. Please check it out. All right, so this is what I use because it is very flexible. I made the quarter inch bony, very flexible and easy to curve. Unlike the half inch, it is easy to curve. That is why it is advisable for caging. All right, and also, what do we use this half inch for? I use this half inch for casing for the bony channel. For the bony channel, this is what you will use for the bony channel because it is wider and it helps to create a case for the plastic bony. Whenever you are working with the bony channels, always make sure the plastic bony you'll be using with the Regilin bony, the plastic bony is smaller in size. The plastic bony is quarter inch, while this is half inch. The Regilin bony is half inch. That is what you will use together. So by the time you use this for the casing, you'll be able to insert this through to it to sustain it. You can see it can accommodate it easily with ease. All right. So get yourself familiar with the bonies we use in corset making, and also be generous with them. Be very generous with them. Always make sure you have enough bony channel in at the center front of your corset dress. Make sure you are generous with them. The more bony channels you have, the more boning channels you have at the center front, which is channeled to the center. I mean the center front, not just straight. This is what I mean. Let's assume this is our blouse. This is our corset. Let's assume this is our corset. Your boning channels should be center to the center. Should be channeled to the center like this. This is how you get the effect. It should always be to the center. This is how you get the effect of it pressing down the stomach. Now, talking of pressing down the stomach, please, you don't have to cinch your waist by 10 inch. No, no. When making corset, you can only snatch your waist by between 4 to 6 inches highest, or 7 inches highest. You don't have to go all the way 10 inches and upward. 5 inches is okay on the average for comfort, so that you'll be able to breathe. This habit is becoming too rampant where the life of our clients are being threatened because of corsets. Yet they will not stop wearing. But for comfort, please always advise your clients to always snatch by their waist by nothing more than 7 inches highest. Please, when working with corset, snatch between 4 inches to 7 inches. So what I'm saying is, by if your waist is 36 inches, let it not go beyond 32. You snatch 4 inches or 31, at most 30. So which means you are removing 6 inches. For corset, because we know we have to cage in corset making, that's the trend. It's not a must, but it is advisable now. Okay, so what we also need to take note of is when caging our bust for corset or any type of dressmaking, when caging, make sure, especially those that have not gotten the trick, you've not placed your hand well on it properly, you've not gotten it well, you are still having a flat surface. What can help you is, by the time you've drafted your bustier, and you're about to cage, always interface with art stay. Art stay helps you to maintain that curve so that you'll be able to follow through. It won't shrink back to um, the a smaller size. Art stay helps you maintain the rigidity of that box so that it will be easier for you. It will help, except only if you're a professional, you can make use of a stay. You can make use of wording, soft wording. But for beginners, it helps you if you make use of art stay to interface your fabric. And remember, we cage on the lining and not the major material. So you cage on your lining, and you before you cage, you interface with art stay. It helps you to maintain that shape so that you can easily follow the curve through without ending up with a flat bust. Okay. One more trick for corset. Some of us are still in the habit of making use of BFF. These things are just paper. You can see they are just paper. They are just paper. They can't sustain corset. Let's stop using this for corset. Let's stop using this for corset. Why? If you use, no matter how you double this, in fact, if you put 10 layers on each other, just an edge of this boning can pierce through it. So it doesn't have any effect. The best thing to use is to use this A-stay. A-stay comes in white, it comes in black. This is the pieces of the black, this is how the black is. It comes in white, it comes in black. This is more like a fabric, and it is lighter. Some of us use wording for corset making. It's not advisable as well because it ends up making your work heavy. Heavy, it has more weight. But this with este, it is lighter. It is lighter to work with este, and it gives you a very good job, and also give you a very light job, so that your dress, the dress you've made, will not be heavy to wear. You understand? That is why these ones are preferable than using wording or any other type. Paper stays is not just advisable. It's not just advisable. So let us always use this as interfacing. Then also, it is also advisable to use this for fleshing. After you are through caging and you are about to mold, you can use A-stay for interfacing. But the only issue is that you are going to be making it like 8 layers of A-stay to flesh your caging. Hope you understand that. But if you are not making use of this for your fleshing, you can make use of this fiber. We call this fiber. It is wider. I just have to cut out the pieces for this for tutorial sake. You make use of your fiber. You can get this from any carpentry shop or where they sell mattresses. Just tell them you want to buy fiber, or where they sell any carpentry stuff, where they sell foams. You get it there. Okay, tell them you want fiber. So once you are done caging, just place your hemming gum on your burst before putting this fiber on it, and use your steam iron on it. It's going to mold it for you properly. If you need a tutorial on that, I'll check through my channel. You'll see it's detailed in the boss caging tutorial on my channel. Please check it out. Very, very, very detailed, and I simplified it like ABC.
Some of us do not even know their risk, but so many risks attached to this job. Fashion business demands you sit for long period. It demands you stand for long period. It demands you bend for long hours. So there are so many health risks that are attached to these businesses. The more reason why you need to understand why you charge and what you are charging. You consider your pension, your retirement stage. All right. So in fashion business, what are the risks we are likely to develop in future? Number one of them is sciatica. If you have not heard about sciatica before, please go and Google it, go and make research on it so you understand the work or the job your leg is doing, especially most those of us that pedal our manual machine, and even those of us that have industrial sewing machine that uses electricity. Your knee is also at risk because you use your knee to lift your footer up, so it also affects, and I'm aware of so many people that have these challenges at their old age. You will not notice it now. You will only notice it by the time you have retired and by the time you are of old age. Now, what you are charging, will it be sufficient to treat you at that period? Let's look at some of the things we can do to avoid the symptoms. Adapt the habit of pedaling your machine slowly and not fast. When you paddle it fast, you are just like a runner, like an athlete running, and which is at risk. of sciatica. There is a muscle at the back of your leg that links to your backbone, to your spinal cord. All right. So when the pressure is too much, they tend to um, adjust themselves and cause your way of movement. Okay. So if you have this muscle which you can use for your manual sewing machine, you can use it. It relieves the stress a bit. It relieves it. Okay. You just have to be pressing it instead of pedaling and affecting your muscle. Okay, let's also avoid sitting for long period. Once in a while, stand up and stretch the way you see me stretch here, and make sure the deeper part of your back is inside. You push it inside and stretch. We should also learn to do some exercises that encourages us to push in our inner back inwardly. Also, after each day job, please make sure you massage your leg. You can ask your relative to help you out on this. Sciatica is real. It is just rarely talked about in the fashion industry. There are a lot of people that fall victim.
Pricing. Pricing has been a very controversial topic for some time now. In fact, some people believe we need a body that will fix the price for us so that it won't keep affecting the industry like this. In my own opinion, the truth is that prices of every fashion houses cannot be the same. It cannot be the same. It cannot be the same because we are different. We use different methods to achieve the same results. Our environments are different. Our locations are different. Our values are different. Our tools are different. We have so many things that are not alike, that are not common. So the prices will not be the same. Our knowledge is also different. So the prices will not be the same. But this class is to help those that are finding it difficult. Some of us had already find out a way to work this out, the issue of pricing. But majority are still having issues in with pricing their work. Um, if you know you are in this category, please stay by and please listen attentively. And if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. I will answer, or the professionals in the house too will answer. Now, let's go straight to pricing. The point I'll be listing out will have to I will have to explain. I may not go fully in details because of the limited time we have, but I'll try to explain volume. All right, the first is having a fixed price for all your basic designs. You need a fixed price for all your basic designs, which is subject to um, you updating it as times goes on. But I'll leave that here. Towards the end of this class, I'll teach you practical ways of how to come about having a fixed price. Okay? I'll teach you practical ways how you can do that. And when I mean fixed price, you mean a price chart. So we'll be drafting out a price chart that will help us in fixing the basic designs, the simple styles. Now, the second point is you need to work on your negotiation power. Work on your negotiation power. We need to know how to refuse to be emotionally blackmailed, especially in Nigeria. Clients can blackmail us that to the extent you feel like, oh, am I expensive? You start asking yourself questions. Am I expensive? Am I that expensive? The truth is that clients knows value. They can identify value when they see one, but they will pretend not to acknowledge value. You are the one to stand your ground and refuse to be emotionally blackmailed. For instance, you tell a client to bring a job and you tell them, oh, I'm going to collect 50,000 for this job. And the next thing, they'll open their mouth wide, like, oh, they've never had that amount before. But it's all pretense. It's all pretense. They will even go as far as telling you, oh, so person beside you here collects this and that. And we always tell them, This is what I am charging. I stand on my ground. This is what I am charging for it, because I am not them, they are not me. All right. So you are the one to stand your ground. Let me tell you a bit of one of the experiences I had with my clients. She gave me um she gave me like three fabric to sew for her. When I mentioned my price, in fact, it was a lot of back and forth, back and forth. It's too expensive. No, 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 no. Where I used to sew before, this is the amount they used to charge. At the end of the day, I succumb to what she wants to offer, because she promised that, oh, I'll bring more for you if you are able to accept this price. I succumb. To cut the long story short, with all the price, that all my with all of the comments that my price, I'm too expensive, this and that, I ended up sewing like about 10 size for her. Do you now know the twist there is that towards the end of me completing all of our dresses, she now started confessing, hey, I like the way you sew. I like it. I like the way you sew well. Honestly, this place you are is not befitting for you. You need to go outside. People don't know you know how to sew like this. So people don't know. Can you see the angle the person is coming from? They know your value, but they want to price you down. At the end of the day, you just get busy, and you become broke. A broke tailor is always busy. A broke tailor is always busy. I would rather prefer sewing five valuable dresses. I would rather accept five valuable jobs than me being easy the whole month without nothing to show for it. It's not all about you being busy all the time, being busy all the time. At first, when I got first moved to this my current location, there are like two other colleagues around me. I noticed they are always busy at all time, and I hardly find about five clothes to sew in a month. I'm not as busy as them. Not that I'm not busy, but I'm not as busy as them. And I keep wondering, what are they doing right that I'm doing wrong? So I started making friends with them. And during our conversation, I started realizing some things which they accept that I cannot accept. On an occasion, one of them showed me a design that, oh, look at this design. How much do you think it's worth? You can sew it. And I said, oh, this design is it's not too hard. It's just a boo gown, and okay, like 20,000. But with you can if the person is familiar with you, you can just collect 15,000. And then she shouted, and like, it's expensive, oh, they can't pay such amount, oh. Okay, I now ask her, how much did you collect? She said 4,500 naira. Okay, so in fact, for some minutes, I looked dumb. 4,500 naira, because at the end of the day, calculating everything she used, she can hardly see about 1,000 on it. Hardly. But I that want to sew it for 15,000 naira minimum, I'll be using what she is not using. I will be using what she is not using. And moreover, I asked her, why will you accept a job like this? And she said, her response is like, oh, because of my apprentice. They are just sitting down. They are just sitting down. So I want them to be busy so that they can learn. So and their parents will not complain that they are just sitting without working. So now I understand. So based on my conversation with her, I was able to give myself some relief. Like, no, this is not what I wanted. This is not who I am. This is not how I want to grow my business. So since then, I do not envy them. I do not envy them, because our values are different. Our values are different. So refuse to allow people price you down. Know your own worth. Know your value. Know your value. All right. And secondly, you should also not focus on clients returning back. Please don't let that fear leave you. Don't always be afraid that clients will leave you. Oh, you want them to come back. Like I said, clients knows value when they see one. They can identify it. They'll keep coming back. Look at the my clients I told you about that bought three and promised, oh, if you do not accept this, I will not come back. And at the end of the day, I ended up sewing more for her. They will come back. If they know your value, they will definitely come back. So don't let your focus be on, oh, I want to retain them. I want to retain them. Instead, let your focus be on upgrading yourself. Let your focus be on upgrading yourself. And that brings us, let's talk about upgrading a bit. What is upgrading? I'll put it in a very simple term. Upgrading is making sure you keep moving regardless any method. I have to put that regardless of the method you use. Like if the major objective is that you keep moving, you are not where you used to be yesterday. The in a later term, don't be stagnant. Don't be stagnant in terms of knowledge. That is another way of defining it. Upgrading means not being stagnant in terms of knowledge. And then what when we are talking of upgrading, just make sure you are not staying in a place. If you are not flying, please walk. If you are not walking, please crawl. Just make sure you are not in a place. Why am I giving you these examples? Because the misconception about upgrading is becoming alarming. Upgrading doesn't mean you have to go to a class and they teach you. Upgrading doesn't mean you have to go attend an all expensive class to get knowledge. Knowledge is easy to get these days. Knowledge is always on the streets. Knowledge is always on the streets. You can get knowledge through your phones. First of all, you can teach yourself. You can upgrade by teaching yourself. Whenever you are less busy, please get an ovation. Look for styles that seems, oh, you've not sewn this before. They look difficult. If you don't have a material to sew as a thing, just draft. Get your paper and draft. Look at the design and start drafting. Draft it and cut it out. Use your masking tape to bring them together and see if you get it. That is an upgrade. You're upgrading yourself, knowledge. And one of it is what you're also doing now through YouTube. You come online to search for knowledge. Oh, I've sewn this before. Let me see how this person is sewing this so that you can get more knowledge, more method to the method you have. That is upgrading. Making sure you learn new things every day. Learning new things every day. It's not everybody that can afford 500,000, 200,000 to go for an upgrade. If you cannot afford that, you can easily put in hard work by teaching yourself. Drafting new patterns out on your own. Draft new patterns out. Google it. And the easiest way in achieving this is first of all teaching yourself style analysis. Get an ovation, like I said. Look at the ovation. When you see some style that seems difficult, first of all analyze it. Oh, the neckline is V neckline. It's a bustier, and then the back is low. This just analyze it. Oh, the neckline is asymmetric. The sleeve is looks like a petal sleeve. Just analyze it on your own. Get information, gather information. That is what they call upgrade, growth, knowing new things every day, every day. The more you are growing, the more your confidence in pricing, in charging, because you know what you have gone through to acquire this knowledge. The more it helps you, because by the time you analyze the style, you drafted it out, you are able to get it, your confidence will be boosted to be able to charge that. "No, I can sew this thing properly. I can do it properly." Probably it is when you don't know how the outcome of the job you are going to accept will come out. Maybe that is why you allow people to price you down. This fashion work is deep. It's deeper than we are looking at it. If you are new in the industry, also please don't focus on pricing. Accept it. Accept people offer whatever, accept whatever they offer to you, because at that stage you don't need to focus on money. Your focus should be on experience. And the more you are experienced, the more you are permitted to charge higher. I don't know if you understand it. Some of us, oh, you see, oh, Vicky James is charging 1 point something million millions to sell this. Oh, I should also be able to charge something millions. No, no, no. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way because you feel like it. Vicky James doesn't just charge in millions because she feels like it. She puts so many things into considerations, which don't have around you now. So it's not just we charge because we feel like. We charge based on the things that take, based on the things that needs to be considered. So if you're a newbie, you seek for experience, not the money. Not the money, because at that period you are seeking for experience, you are gathering strength, you are gathering momentum to be able to stand for the future. Okay? And also, don't compare yourself. Like I said, you can't compare yourself with Vicky James. You can't compare yourself with Prudence. You can't compare yourself with Precious. You can't compare yourself with the big forces in the industry. You can't compare. You can't compare yourself even with your colleague next door to you. You can't compare because we are different. Like I said, we have different factors that surround us. For instance, someone that will be able that charges 10,000 naira for a simple gown, you don't know why the person charged for it. You cannot say because the person charged 10,000, you too you charge 10,000. Probably you are expected to charge higher. The reason is this: the person that charged 10,000 may have so many apprentices around, because even that 10,000 naira she collected, she may not pick a needle to none of her strength, none of her effort, none of her time will be on the dress. So she's comfortable charging whatever she likes because they are apprentice there to do the job. But meanwhile, you are alone, or probably you have an apprentice, just a single apprentice that doesn't even know left from right at that stage. And you'll be the one that will put all your 100% effort on that clothes. Will you charge the same 10,000 naira? No, no. That is why we cannot compare ourselves. You are in a shop doing your job, while your neighbor, your colleague, your next door colleague is in an apartment, a duplex, doing a job. Do you expect your charges to be the same? No. Some of us have AC in our workspace, while some of us have standing fan. Our charges will be different. Some of us have constant light, while some of us doesn't have constant light to work with. Our charges will be different. So stop comparing yourself. The more you compare yourself, the more confused you get in pricing. The more you confuse yourself in pricing. I think that is the major thing that causes confusion. Don't compare yourself. Work with yourself. Work with yourself. Think of what you can accept and not what someone else is accepting. Please, let's take note of that as well. Most importantly, or let me say one of the important points is that have proper bookkeeping. It helps in pricing. Have proper bookkeeping. I can boldly say 90% of us does not have proper bookkeeping. You can't even keep details of the job you did all through last week. Oh, I was able to sew 3 corsets. This is what I charge. This is what I bought. These are my expenses. This is the bill that I paid. This and that. Details, bookkeeping, always important. It helps you if you are able to go through your record for last week and you discover a fault. You'll be able to discover the fault you made last week. This week you are now, to help you in correcting that mistake. Oh, okay, I charged 20,000 for a top, for this top. At the end of the day, I bought this. I planned on spending 15,000 to make this top. But at the end of the day, I spent 18,000 naira, which is not good for this business. Okay. So you have it in mind. When someone bring a similar style, definitely it's not going to be 20,000. It will be 25,000. But most of us, we just collect jobs, do it, and at the end of the day, you don't even know how much your expenses is and how much you either you made profits or you made loss. You don't know. You don't even know how to calculate it. Proper bookkeeping helps in fashion business. It helps in fashion business. So someone cannot just come and tell you, oh, you sold this tie for me for 15,000 last week, and they expected you to sell it for 15,000 this week. Because you'll be able to defend it that, oh, the 15,000 naira I collected from you last week is it's a shortage for me because it's beyond what I planned. Bookkeeping helps, gives defense in pricing. It's your defense in pricing. Now, for those of us that knows we can afford the high standard upgrading, please go for it. Go for it. And when you are going for upgrading, don't just go for upgrade. Don't just choose any upgrade because this person is doing. Please go for high profile forces in the industry. We have Vicky James, we have Prudence, we have Pafa, we have so many of them, quite a lot of them. Quite a lot of them. Do you know why? Because you will not just be teaching on the upgrade alone, but also to associate yourself with the benefits around them, with their goodwill. You'll be able to network with them. That is why you need to pick your upgrade class with care. Learn from someone that their um the ambience around them can influence your own growth. Like the people I mentioned, those that are around them, you'll be able to connect. You'll be able to network with those of you that are gathered for that upgrade. Upgrading is not just about what they teach you, it's also about networking. Networking. So look for the upgrading that will bring valuable networking for you, not just any upgrade. Everybody's doing upgrade. Everybody's doing upgrade, but not you. The upgrade, you don't just go for any upgrade. That's just it. You don't just go for any upgrade. Go for people that already have um their their goodwill. Those that already have social values. I don't know if you understand that. Go for the people that can influence your growth in this industry. All right. So if you can afford that, you can go for that. Then above all, we cannot remove God from this equation. You want to grow, you want knowledge, seek God. Seek God before you seek human. I know of there's a man in I think cinematography, if I'm right. His name is ends with effect, something effect. That is his name. He said he learned that work, even though he learned it physically from somebody from a boss, but majority of his knowledge, the larger part of his knowledge comes from someone teaching him in his dream. I'm a Christian, so that's why I believe in that. All right. So if you want knowledge, seek God. There are sometimes I'll be working and without someone teaching me, the idea just come. Story the my Bible make me to understand that in God is hidden treasures of all knowledge, including fashion. It's there. So seek God, and He won't disappoint you. So last but not the least, let's just draft our price chart. You are going to be charging for your tools. You are going to be charging for the materials you'll be using for to sew the dress. You are going to be charging for your bills, like electricity bills, your workspace bill, um, fuel if you are using generator, all those bills. You need to put them into consideration. Now, price chart. To get your price chart, um, you start with the basic. For simple skirts, what how much will I be charging for a simple skirt? When I mean simple skirt is without lining. You won't be lining it. You won't add the only thing you are adding to it is zip. So how much will you be charging? For a simple skirt without lining, oh, okay, let's say you are charging 5K for it. Or whatever price I put here is just for the purpose of this class. Okay. Then you also put in mind with simple skirts with lining. Definitely it's going to be with full lining, right? It's going to be like 8,000 naira. Then also you go to top, a simple top or a simple blouse, or you want to charge 7,000 for it, 7K for it. Then you also write out what you charge for simple top with lining. Definitely that's going to be like 10K. Now you put this in mind that if I'm sewing this, it means I'm not buying anything apart from zipper. It means I'm not buying anything from the design, no design, any style they bring. No, I'm not adding any design that doesn't have design. This is what I'll be charging. Now, we've drafted out the one for skirt, and we've drafted out the one for top. Now, if you are now to sew a simple skirt and blouse, skirt and top. For the top, you charge 5,000. For the skirt, you charge 7,000. So if you're going to be sewing the two together, we are supposed to have 7,000. Then you can give a discount of 2,000 and say simple skirt and top is 10K. Then also simple skirt and top with full lining. Full lining will be for the with lining for skirt is 8K. The lining with lining for top is 10K, which is supposed to be 18,000. If you are sewing the two together with full lining, then you should have 18K. Then you can give a discount of 1K or they make it 17K. This is how to draft your price chart. Some people are bold enough, or let me say, are confident enough to place it in their office. So every customer says this, and some do have it in their office. Once a cloth is brought, they bring it out and work with it. They bring it out, show it to the client as a guide to your charges. Now, all what you have drafted now will help you in determining the price of a style that has full designs, that have designs. So this will be your basic. Okay, the person is sewing a skirt and blouse with design. Then first of all, you already know 17K is sure. Is for the basic. Then you start adding. Okay, the skirt and blouse I'll be making use um what's it called? Is the skirt and blouse is a bustier. Okay, for the bustier, how much will I be charging for the bustier? At least for the bustier alone. So let's write it out. Skirt and blouse, skirt and blouse, bustier, skirt and blouse. So you already have 17K for it. The bustier will cost you, let's assume it will cost you 8K for the bustier. Then you also be adding some patches or some applique at the chest of it, and you'll be buying applique, like 5 applique. That's going to cost you like around 10,000 applique. 10,000, 10K. Then remember, you will be charging for electricity and the rest and the rest. Okay, for appliances, or let me say tools. For the tools, we are adding 5K. Meanwhile, you know your labor is already included in the basic. All right. So now for extra labor, or after you must have added whatever you wanted, all the things you'll be needing, just make sure you add extra. Just add extra should in case. Okay. You can call it miscellaneous. Miscellaneous 5K. Then you calculate it. So here we have this 20, this is that's 28 plus 17. We have 40, 45, 45K. So this is how you get your pricing. Don't just think, oh, you look at the style loan, think, and you say, oh, give me 30K. Then you start negotiating. At the end of the day, by the time you start calculating, this is what you have. What will you do then? You just accept whatever profit that comes out of it. No. Draft out your price chart. You can put it, oh, for corset. Corset without bidding. Without bidding. Corset without bidding, oh, it is 80K. Corset with bidding. You already know corset with bidding, you cannot give the price immediately. Contact your bidder, add the price, but you already know it is not going to be lesser than 100K because you already have a fixed price for the corset alone. So following all these tips will help you. Following all these tips will help you to come up with a price befitting for you that profits you more.
Wow, it's a long journey. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe, like, and share this video. All right, and you can save it also, so you can always remind yourself of vital things that shouldn't be forgotten in the fashion industry. I love you. See you in my next video.